Hello learners, I hope you remember a little bit about Subject Verb Agreement. Let's take up the topic again and understand it by splitting it into various domains. Let's start with Subject Verb Agreement and money. Now money is tricky when it comes to Subject Verb Agreement because there are specific rules for refining to an amount of money versus dollars or cents themselves. Now, for example, take this first sentence. Since this sentence refers to an amount of money, a singular verb is used, that is $5 was deposited at the bank this morning. Now, on the flip hand side, this second sentence, that is here, refers to dollars themselves. So, a plural verb is needed instead, that is $5,000 bills were deposited at the bank this morning. Do you see how the interpretation of the sentence changes when the writer refers to physical dollar bills instead of a lump sum of money? In reading the first sentence, I imagined a check written out of $5,000 being handed to a bank teller. In the second one, however, I imagined someone lugging several bags into the bag, each filled with $1 bills. Let's move on to the second one, that is Subject Verb Agreement and time. Now the rules for time are very similar to the rules that was for money when it comes to Subject Verb and Agreement. Just a singular verb is used with the amount of money. A singular verb is also used with a period of time. For example, the 1920s is the backdrop of F. Scott's novel, that is The Great Gatsby. Now, however, even though a plural verb is used when referring to an individual dollar bill or coin, we normally do not refer to individual units of time since time is what? Abstract. Therefore, singular verbs are always used instead of plural verbs whenever a writer refers to a period of time or a unit of measurement. That is, the 1920s is. Alright. And we will take one more example, that is 225 pounds is the maximum weight that I can deadlift right now. Let's move on to the third one, that is Subject Verb Agreement and collective noun. Now, collective nouns or nouns that name groups composed of members use either singular or plural verbs based on the context of the sentence. When collective nouns like family, squad, committee act in unison in a sentence, a singular verb is what used. For example, the committee votes to build a new park downtown. So the committee and votes. When collective noun acts individually or separately from the group, a plural verb is used. For example, the herd of cows. So the herd, and there is this gap, are running. Alright. I hope you understood about the subject verb agreement and collective nouns as well. Now let's move forward to the next one. That is subject verb agreement and indefinite pronouns. Now, even though indefinite pronouns are non-specific, most of these pronouns can still be divided into what? Singular or plural categories. However, for indefinite pronouns that can be either singular or plural depending on the sentence, written must refer a different noun in the sentence to find out whether a singular or plural verb is needed. Now, always singular examples. For example, does anybody want to take pre-calculus with me this semester? And what is going to be the example of always plural one? That is going to be this one. That is several kittens need to be adopted this weekend. Now when an indefinite pronoun like some, more, none or all of it is used, writers must refer to the noun or noun phase immediately following this pronoun to know whether the verb is singular or plural. And we can understand this with the help of these examples. That is, none of my clothes are what? Clean. The verb is plural because clothes is plural. And another one is that none of the pizza is left. That is, the verb is singular because pizza is what? Singular. Alright. Let's move on to the next one. The next one is subject verb agreement with interrupting phases. And this is going to be the last one. So, what exactly is subject verb agreement in interrupting phases? So, sometimes it can be difficult to know whether a verb should be singular or plural because it is so far away from the subject of the sentence, right? It is easy to be confused by appositive phrases, prepositional phases, or direct object and think that these indicate the number of verbs. Now, this is not the case. The subject is the only noun that decides if the verb is either singular or plural. Let's understand how with an example. So, the example says that Chris Hemsworth, one of many successful actors in Hollywood, has an intense workout regime. Now, in this sentence, even though the appositive phrase uses the plural noun actors, the subject, that is your Chris Hemsworth, is still what? Singular, which means that the verb has must also be what? Singular. There is one more example, that is the knock hole in the tree, typically full of treasures for Scout and Jem, was instead filled with what? Cement. Now, in this sentence, it can be tricky to find the true subject since there are several prepositional phases that interrupt the subject and verb. Even though there are many nouns, both singular and plural, the true subject that is given here, that is the knock hole, is singular, so the singular verb was what? Needed. So, I hope you people have understood a little bit about subject verb agreement now. You can go to EduRev and attempt the following test to understand this chapter in depth. You can unlock all the logged videos, documents and tests of CLAT with EduRev Infinity Plan and ace your exams at less than 80 rupees per month. Thank you.